We all know what flags are because each country, each state, each province, each union has one. First of all, let's see the history of flags. We looked everywhere to see where flags originated from. Wikipedia says the first flags were in ancient Egypt, which was pretty much bronze plates that represented a place. The first flags that actually represented an empire was the Darashtakhaniani of the Persian Empire and the Roman Legion flag. And it's good to know that these two were the biggest competitors in history, and their wars were fought for more than 700 years. And we've made a video just about these wars. If you want to know what's the oldest flag that still remains to this day, it's the Danish flag of Denmark. This flag represented Denmark since 1478, and you still see it to this day, so it's the oldest remaining flag. Right now we have about 200 countries around the world, and 190 of them are recognized by the United Nations, and each of them have their own flag. How do they choose these flags? Who sits down and actually designs them? Who chooses the colors? The person that actually designs this has power in their hands, and they belong in some form of government. But choosing the flag itself has a history. There had been plenty of flags that were designed that were ridiculous, and they even considered putting that on a nation's flag. In this video, we want to look at the most ridiculous flags that fortunately did not get chosen. We'll start off with the US, which is a fairly new country. When Dwight Eisenhower became the US president in 1953, he decided to change the flag because they had Hawaii and Alaska added to the states. At this time, the US had 48 stars, but with these two states added, it needed to have 50 stars. And that is why some people wanted to change the entire flag because of these two stars. When the US government announced that we are changing the flag, people went berserk. They started designing their own design and colors and sending them to the government's way. Not one, not two. More than 50,000 envelopes were sent White House's way, and everybody designed their own style of the US flag. It is interesting to know that the US government didn't throw these pictures away, and you could find most of them online. The most interesting one is this one. If you look closely, it says USA in the middle, but it kind of resembles a swastika. Either way, after receiving all these packages, the US government decided to keep the same flag and just have 50 stars on it instead of 48. This was pretty much the first flag the United States used. It has 13 stars and 13 stripes that are red and white. After this, any state that was added to the United States, they kept the stripes the same, but they kept adding to the stars. So the 13 stripes will always remain because of the original 13 colonies. Some say that Puerto Rico will be the next state or the 51st state to the US, but it will have 51 stars at that point. Do you see this map? This is the Russian Empire, and this section is Finland, which is under the empire. After the Russian Revolution happened and the Bolsheviks won, Finland decided to gain its own independence and told Russia to screw, and they don't want to be a part of this Russian Empire anymore. And since Russia was in the middle of a revolution, they didn't really have time to bother. So Finland became an independent country. When that happens, they decide to create their own flag, and they ask the people of Finland to send their ideas about the Finnish flag. These are the most famous suggestions. Some are ugly, and some look really cool. They even added the Catalina Spain flag right there. In some flags, you see the Russian Empire flag in the corner, kind of like the UK flag in Australia, but this time it's the Russian flag. Since Finland was a part of Scandinavia and it was a Scandinavian country, it decided to create a similar flag to the countries next to it, but this time it's a different color, white background with a blue cross. Let's go to Egypt, a country that has been here for thousands of years, but it was under the British Empire for some centuries, until 1952 to be exact, because that's the year they gained their independence from Britain. This is when they decide to create a flag. The first proposal looked like this, and this line you're seeing down here that's squiggly is the Nile River, and the top right is like a Yemen flag with a moon and some stars in the middle of it. Nobody liked this design, especially the Nile River part, but they liked the triple colors up there, so they chose those three and put their revolutionary coat of arms in the middle, and this is the flag to this day. Let's go to New Zealand, another country that's in the hands of the UK. This is the flag of New Zealand, but nobody in this island really likes it because it's the Australian flag with red stars and it's not unique whatsoever. The reason the people don't like it is because it doesn't represent anything there, so they are deciding to change it, especially removing the British flag from there. These are the most famous proposals to change the flag of New Zealand. It seems like the government gets these and throws them away because the Brits are not gonna allow that to happen. These are the design people have suggested, and some of them are extremely nice and beautiful, but some are ridiculous. Look at this flag. It's a kiwi, which is the national bird of New Zealand, and it has a laser beam. The leaf you're seeing on top of this is very famous in New Zealand, and it's called the silver fern. Even New Zealand's cricket team, which is pretty famous, their logo is this leaf. In the year 1821, when Greece was part of the Ottoman Empire, Rigas Ferraios, an independent fighter, an independent writer in Greece, was always trying to make their own country. So he even designed a Greek flag, and this is it. The colors look exactly like the Yemen flag. It has Hercules' bat and 3 crosses on top of it. In the year 1910, Portugal went from a kingdom to a republic, and that is why they needed a new flag. There had been a lot of ideas on what to change, but this flag has the record for the most amount of symbols and colors in one flag. And fortunately, they didn't choose it, but since it's weird, we're showing it to you today. After Brazil gained its independence from Portugal, it decided to create a flag. They create this, which is similar to the US flag, but it has Brazil's map with 4 stars in the corner. But they didn't use this flag for the country, they used it for Sao Paulo, and in the end, they chose this as the official flag. The green color is the symbol of the Amazon, yellow is the symbol of gold, blue is the sky, and the stars you're seeing is each state in Brazil. In the middle it says Ordem e Progresso in Portuguese, which means order and progress. Australia is pretty much the adopted child of the UK, and it really likes to replace its flag with something unique. It's interesting to note that in the year 1994, a lot of people wanted to change the flag design to this. The yellow color and design you're seeing is the kangaroo. It's on a green background, and it has the same amount of stars you see on today's flag. It's good to note that these are the national colors of Australia, and their teams always play with these colors on, not with the official colors of the flag. But of course they didn't go with this flag, and it has been more than 30 years, and they still have the same flag as before. In the year 1993, in Maastricht, the Netherlands, the European Union was finally formed, and when this union was formed, they decided to create their own flag. This was the first flag they decided to go with. Any color there was on the country's flags, they put on this flag. It looks like a damn barcode. Obviously, nobody chose this flag, and they decided to go with something more traditional like this.